A couple had just moved into this house when the woman discovered a key in the basement. Strangely, no matter how she moved it, the key always pointed in the same direction. Following where the key pointed, she found a keyhole in the doorframe. But when her husband inserted the key, his wife's smile instantly froze. Half his arm passed through to the other side, as if through an invisible door. Looking closely, his arm was completely unharmed. He said this might be a portal to a parallel dimension. The man wanted to check out the other side, but his wife pulled him back. She handed him a tennis ball with both their names written on it. The man tossed the ball forward. As it passed through the doorframe, it vanished instantly, as if entering another space. Soon the ball came flying back. The woman quickly pulled the key from the lock. The writing on the ball had changed. It now read, "How do you know us?" The man thought whatever was behind the door seemed suspicious. He wanted to see the world on the other side. He put the key back in the lock. His wife tried to stop him, afraid there might be danger on the other side. The man reassured her he'd only be gone for 5 minutes. He walked straight ahead, his entire body disappearing through the door. His wife waited anxiously in the room. 10 minutes passed. Still no sign of her husband. Everything was quiet outside the door. After several more hours, she grew increasingly panicked. Finally, she gathered her courage and approached the door. She leaned halfway through. Bizarrely, in the space on the other side, there was a woman who looked exactly like her. Their eyes met. The other woman was clearly terrified too. The woman pulled back into the room, yanking out the key in her panic. But remembering her husband was still inside, she put the key back. She grabbed a small shovel and aimed it at the invisible door. She stood guard there for 3 days, but her husband never appeared. Months passed. The wife was about to give birth. She couldn't bear life without her husband anymore, while also worrying about his safety. Finally, she made up her mind. She grabbed a knife and walked through the door. Passing through the invisible portal, the woman emerged on the other side. Through the hallway, she saw another version of herself cooking in the kitchen. The woman demanded, "Where's my husband?" The other woman looked terrified at first but quickly composed herself. Woman number 2 said her husband was playing soccer, but the woman knew perfectly well her husband couldn't play soccer. Woman number 2 explained impatiently that she'd seen countless versions of herself looking for their husbands, but this world didn't belong to them. Every time someone used the key to open the door, they entered a different parallel space. She told the woman to go back to her own world. The woman couldn't accept a life without her husband. She raised the knife and stabbed, sending woman number 2 to meet her maker. She dragged the body back to her own space. She tied a rope to the key, looped it around a stool, then went back to number 2's parallel world. Standing outside the door, she pulled the rope. The line grew taut. The key was pulled from the lock. She believed this would keep that door from ever opening again. The woman cleaned up the scene. A husband's voice called from inside the room. The woman rushed out to embrace him, but this wasn't her original husband. Obviously, man number 2 hadn't noticed anything different about his wife. The woman thought she could finally return to normal life. That night, she heard noises coming from outside the room. She went to check. The portal had been opened again.